Yo, it's Bike Guy. Today we have a little bit of a different style of video for you because we're not actually going to be working on bikes, but we are going to be talking about my bike goals and the things that I already have planned for in 2026 and what to kind of expect from me content-wise for the 2026 year. Now, I don't have, everything planned out for this year, but I do have a lot of really exciting things on the books that will create some really great content. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about, and I'd really like to know what you guys are going to be most excited to see from me in 2026 by the end of the video. So make sure to leave those comments down below what you're most excited to see from me in 2026, and also leave some comments down below what you'd like to see me do in 2026, if it's something that I haven't already talked about in this video. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into my 2026 bike forecast, starting with bike builds. So as you can see right next to me, I have this Alpenstar Almega. This bike is a dream bike of mine. I have always wanted a elevated chainstay bike such as the Alpenstar or the Nishinki Aliens. I've always wanted a bike like this to work on and build up in my own way. So I am over the moon to finally have this bike in my possession, and this bike will be the first bike build of 2026 that you see from yours truly, Bike Guy. So I'm very excited to have this in my possession, as well as I'm very excited for what I'm going to do with this bike. Because this is a dream bike of mine, there's a lot of planning that I want to go through and do to really make sure that when I build this bike, it really turns out the way that I want it to, and it turns out amazing. So there's a lot of planning that I'm going to have to do, and I want to get it right, so this isn't going to be a rushed build. So you probably won't see that bike build for 2 or 3 weeks, but it'll be worth the wait. I can guarantee that. This thing is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to have it in my possession. I'm very excited that this is going to be the first bike build of 2026. Moving on, another thing that will happen in the very near future of 2026 is a frame swap for my girlfriend's bike. My girlfriend's frame is definitely too small from her. A lot of people were commenting that it does look too small on her. I know it's too small on her. She knows it's too small on her. It's what she's going to ride for now until I'm able to find a frame worthy of doing a frame swap with. So yeah, you'll see a frame swap from me in the very near future. Basically just getting my girlfriend a larger size frame that fits her correctly. And the great thing with vintage mountain bikes is everything's compatible. So just because I increase the frame size doesn't mean that I have to really swap out anything. I might have to do some recabling, but other than that, should be a super easy process to give my girlfriend some more comfort on our bike rides. So yeah, that's exciting. Another build that I have lined up for 2026 is I have a Surly Straggler frame. Now, this bike is going to be my sort of bike packing touring build. I really want to make this build the way that I've envisioned it, so I don't want to cheap out on it. So it's something that I'm slowly acquiring the parts for, because this bike is most likely going to be with me forever. So I really want to do it right, just like I want to do my Alpenstar right, and put the time and money into buying the right parts that I want for that build. So I don't really have a timeline on when that bike build will be done, but I am going to build a wheel set for it. So in the near future, I will have a wheel set building sort of video. I've never dabbled in wheel building, so it's really exciting for me to learn about something new bike related and try something new. So I'm really excited to do a custom wheel set build for that Surly Straggler, and that will be sort of the first video that you'll see from me in a series of videos about the straggler. Another bike build that I don't necessarily have a timeline for, but is something that I would really like to accomplish this year, is a cargo fork bike build. I've always been super fascinated by the crust cargo forks. There's a lot of other cool companies that are making cargo forks as well that are basically compatible with any sort of bike. And I'd love to do a vintage mountain bike with a cargo fork sort of build sometime in 2026. The next sort of bike build that I really want to accomplish in 2026 is some sort of fixed gear trackle cross bike. I have always loved fixed gear. It has been something that has held a very special place in my heart. It's sort of what got me reinvigorated in cycling and really got me into working on my own bikes was fixed gear. So it holds a really special place in my heart. I love fixed gear. Getting old, my knees hurt, so it's not necessarily something that I am always choosing to ride, but I definitely miss having a fixed gear bike in my life. And so I would really like to have that back. And I want some sort of trackle cross bike. Like, that is such a cool concept to me. Fitting a fatter tire on a track bike and then being able to take it off road is really cool to me. So that's a bike build that I really want to accomplish here in 2026 to give myself another fixed gear in my life, as well as to give me some more fun riding options and potentially go race and ride some trackle cross events and things like that. For the trackle cross bike build, I would love to do a Surly Steamroller. That has always been sort of a dream bike of mine, but my Surly Straggler is basically the same thing as the Steamroller, except I can put a derailleur on it. So that's like the main difference. They both have horizontal dropouts. The Steamroller just has the like track bike horizontal dropouts. But other than that, it's essentially the same bike. The geometry is really the same and things like that. So that's why I'm kind of leaning away from getting a steamroller, because it's essentially a bike that I already have, and instead looking towards something different and something new for that trackle cross build. The other thing sort of in that fixed gear realm that I would really like to try out and work with this year is the eccentric bottom brackets. That technology seems extremely cool to me, and I would really like to test it out for myself. And it also opens up the opportunity to work with a ton of different frames, having that eccentric bottom bracket to basically tighten the chain with the bottom bracket versus horizontal dropouts. That's sort of the other route that I'd look at with this trackle cross bike build that I want to get done in 2026. So yeah, that's kind of wrapping up my plans for bike builds in 2026. I love working on bikes. I'll always be working on bikes. I'll always have some sort of bike project going on. So that's not going to be it for bike builds. There's going to be way more bike builds this year than those ones that I sort of highlighted there. But I don't know what they're going to be. It's going to kind of be up to what the Facebook Marketplace gods deliver to me and what I'm able to find in my area. Get excited, because there's a lot of really cool builds on the way, already planned out and in the works. And there's probably going to be a ton more really cool bike builds that happen this year that, as I'm sitting here right now, I have no idea about, because the Facebook gods have not bestowed these bikes upon me. So a lot of great things to look forward to in 2026 in terms of bike builds. Now, moving beyond bike builds and kind of just going into bike events and bike life and things like that, there's a couple of events that I'm really excited about this year. First up being the Cactus Cup in Arizona. They have a vintage mountain bike criterium on the Friday before the event, and I have already signed up to race it. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the people that are going to show up and being able to talk with and just see a bunch of other people that have the same enthusiasm for vintage mountain bikes as myself. So I'm really excited for that event. If you guys can go, I highly recommend that you go. I would love to see a huge turnout for this vintage mountain bike criterium. So if you're in or around the Phoenix area, check out that event. Yeah, looking forward to that one. That's the first event that I have lined up for 2026. There are definitely a lot of other vintage mountain bike inspired events, as well as swap meets that will happen in 2026 that I am looking forward to going to and being a part of. I know that there is a bike swap twice a year at the San Diego Velodrome. I missed the one that happened in late November, early December of 2025. So I am looking forward to going to those events in 2026. Yeah, really cool stuff. A lot of stuff that I'm excited for, and we'll be able to make content around for you guys. So yeah, get excited about that. Wrapping up things that I have in the works slash have plans to do this year. 2026, I'm going to dive into bike packing, and I would like to start with something kind of small. So my first bike packing plan is to do Catalina Island just off the coast of Southern California. There is roughly a 35-mile trail that runs through the island that I would love to bike pack. So thinking of just, doing a one night bike packing trip, basically bike down, catch the ferry over, bike somewhere along the trail, set up camp, finish the trail the next day, and take the ferry back. So that's something that I would really like to do probably in late winter, early spring time frame. I would also love to have my Surly bike build done by that point so that I can test it out and see how a bike packing setup works on it, because I really want to do a much larger bike packing trip this summer. I've already kind of put in some preparation and planning towards doing a west coast of Ireland bike packing trip this summer with my best friend Ben from Ben Cycles. This is something that we have talked about, agreed upon, that it would be something that we'd like to do. I have concepts of a plan. These are all just, things that I kind of looked up on Google Maps and Apple Maps of bike routes from one location to the next without too much planning on, where we would camp, or even, the route that we were taking and things like that. But I have sort of created a plan to do a west coast of Ireland bikepacking trip this summer, and it would be something that I would be thrilled to do. Yeah, I hope that all comes to fruition and is something that I get to do this summer and make a film about. Whatever big bikepacking trip that I do this year, I do want to make sort of a film for it, and I would really like to put it into some sort of film festival. I know there's an ATB film festival in Japan that I would love to go out and be a part of and show my film at for whatever bikepacking trip I do this summer. Hopefully it is the west coast of Ireland. And if not that event, I would love to show the film at some other event as well. So yeah, that's all of my goals and plans that I have for 2026 in terms of building and working on bikes and riding bikes. So I hope that you guys are really excited about the future and about all the content that's going to come out surrounding all of these really cool things that I'm going to do in 2026. And I'd love to hear from you guys what you guys are most excited to see from me in 2026, as well as if there's anything that you think that I should really do this year that I didn't talk about in this video. I have a huge passion for bikes, and I love sharing it with you guys, and I'm really excited to see what 2026 holds for us. So yeah, that's all we got for today. Bike guy out.